Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. I am joined by John Blaine without an E and Sarah Halpin from Toffee TV, the Blue Room, and other channels as well. Keep watching. She will keep you posted. Not in this video though, because this is a preview. Huddersfield Town at home at the weekend. John, we done okay against them last season.
Yeah.
Beat them twice.
Yeah. We'll beat them again, won't we?
Well, I'd like to think so, John. I'd like to think so. How are you feeling about? How do you think Everton have done so far this season? Obviously, the 3 games we've played in the Premier League.
I think it's promising. Clearly, the manager needs time with these players. I think that the most often thing I've repeated coming away from away games, for example, is these are all players Allardyce had, with exclusion of Richarlison. And what a difference a manager makes. Yeah. What a difference playing half full rather than half empty makes. And so on. Whether they can maintain that, whether it's new broom and those sorts of things, is another matter. But we'll get a kicker, won't we, after the international break, because we'll get Mina and Bernard hopefully get over his little thingy, Gomez will be ready and the like, and then you start having competition for players, don't you? And then we'll start seeing things like Dine will be the starting left back and what have you. So yeah, very optimistic. I mean, you've got to look past the results and look at the performances. Yeah. And just the silliness, and particularly in the 2 away games, of throwing games away. Yeah. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who'll go, "Oh, typical old Everton." Yeah. But unless you've been at those games, you wouldn't have seen the all-round performances, and because you don't see stuff that's off camera, do you? So yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic. Yeah. But I think if they can take on board what the manager's saying and trying to do, then we could go places. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really enthused by it. I mean, people. There's a tendency, I think, sometimes when you've been going the way we've been going over the last few years, to almost ignore how much change is taking place at Everton over the summer and
both on and off the field.
Exactly, yeah. And that it does have as much as people want to brush that under the carpet, it has a big effect. But also, it's starting with the new brush again. I mean, I mentioned it on the final word about the likes of Michael Keane and people like that, Morgan Schneiderlin. But this is everybody, and this is a new manager coming into the place and starting. So it's year 0. It's let's go again. And I think I'm like you. The results, I was gutted at the weekend. I was 2-0 up, and it was, but results aside, look at what's gone on. Look at the shape that the players are taking. Look at the fact we've been in both of those away games that the period have been to. We've had 10 men before half time, and in both games we've gone and scored with 10 men. We've gone at the opposition. Last year we could have had 18 men under Allardyce, we wouldn't have attacked because we didn't. And now there's that kind of thing that's gone. We're still going after teams. And Sarah, the 2 away games, there's been a big difference than the way we played in last year's away games already.
Yeah, massive, as you said. Both away games we had a man sent off just before the break, and I think the Wolves one, that was, that's where we were really tested to see how we were going to respond. I think we were all frustrated because, of course, it was a double whammy. They get the free kick. Not only is Jags gone, but they score from the free kick. So it's like, now we're level. It wasn't taken in the right place. Far from it. But, then you're thinking, right, it's 1-1 now. Are we going to capitulate as we did last season under Sam Allardyce? But no, what we saw was Everton come out and go, we still want to win this game, and we still can. And I think we should have done certainly Bournemouth, but I think we should have seen Wolves off as well. So in terms of the results, they're a bit frustrating, but the performance and that mentality of not knowing when we're beat, and I keep saying, when we're on it, when we're playing to the best of our ability at the moment, we look something quite special, and that's exciting. And the results on the face of things aren't even that bad. We've had 2 draws away from home, a home win. Hopefully it should be another win on the weekend. And then we're sitting on, how many points are we on now? 5. We're sitting on 8 points after 4 games. And that's top 4, form. I know it's only 4 games and people will say, who've you really played, kind of thing. But under the circumstances, I'm with you and John. I do feel, although frustrated, very optimistic as well.
I think John's just made a great point. We haven't seen this new influx of players yet, really. Richarlison has been the only one we've seen really in the Premier League. Lucas Digne's had bits, but and obviously he was very impressive in the week against Rotherham. So, like John said, he could come in and take Baines' place maybe in that team. I just think, looking at it, I think with the signings we've made, Kurt Zuma was another one we've seen in a week. I mean, having 2 centre-backs that can actually move across the pitch quickly makes a big difference, and particularly in the Premier League, because it is about pace. I mean, John, the home game against Southampton, lots of really good football in it. Final ball, not great at times. There's an issue we've seen as a goal from zonal marking that the naysayers like to concentrate on. How have you seen the whole zonal thing? Because my view is it's about players taking responsibility, not just the zonal thing.
Yeah, it always is, isn't it? I think I listened into it when you were doing whatever you were doing before, and you were talking about if we'd conceded a goal last season, it wouldn't have been zonal marking's fault because we weren't doing it then. So every goal conceded now is zonal marking's fault, isn't it?
Yeah.
And as when we come away from the match last night, my nephew, my great nephew at the game with us, and he was giving it loads. This zonal marking, it never works. No one uses it, and I'm challenging him because most of the best teams in the world use it for a reason.
For a reason.
Yeah. And it doesn't allow you easily to finger the blame.
No.
Yeah. But each player still has to take his responsibilities. And again, we talked about it in the break about at Bournemouth. The goal Aki scored. You can mark that down as being zonal, can't you? If you're negative to it, or you can press rewind, lads. Look at the game again and see that Tosin's spectating. Yeah.
Yeah.
The zonal guys are all in a line on the edge of the 6-yard box. Really cool. Aki's offside, not a problem. But they don't know that Tosin hasn't done his bit.
Yeah.
So the accountability thing, I think, still applies. You can still, I don't know whether the average fan will know, but I'm sure the coaching staff who know. And I think it's more efficient, and it's more adaptive. You can practice zonal marking, can't you? At Finch Farm every bloody day, regardless of who the opposition's going to be.
And that's the key.
Rather than they've got a 6'7" centre forward or whatever, who's going to mark him? No, we just mark our zones. How many zones are there? I don't know.
3 allegedly.
Yeah, but you say that's your bit. The ball comes there. That's your your responsibility. But you still have the in-game management bit. That says there's a man over there on his own and the ball's heading towards him. I'm having that.
Yeah.
And that's what Tosin's not been doing.
No.
So I'm not convinced he's the right man for the near post thing.
No.
And again, sorry people, we've been talking about this offline, but we all see how many times we fail to beat the first man, and we all see how many times our first man doesn't clear it.
Yeah.
So there's a fix there, and I think Silva will be really chuffed that there's an international break. Because he gets those players, Mina and the like, and they get those 2 weeks to drill things, don't they? And they'll have 3 or 4 games, or 5, whatever it is, if you include the cup game. Say, listen, lads, this is what I wanted you to do. This is what you actually did. Let's get it right next time. And I think as we go forward, as you say, those mobile centre backs and people like Holgate, they'll come into their own. And there's some stalwarts there, Baines and what have you, who I suspect won't see a lot of game time. So very optimistic. I think he set his stall out for zonal. So if you don't like it, tough. The manager does.
And that's the thing. I mean, you made two really key things. There is that when you're playing zonal marking, it means you just concentrate on what you're doing.
Yeah.
A Finch Farm gives you more time to do other stuff like what we've seen. I think offensively our set plays are fantastic. Yeah. The range, the difference. There's a real difference in the way we're doing corners and free kicks, and there's always we take it quick if you're not ready. We'll put one in. Gylfi's dead ball, crosses into the box are fabulous. There's lots of different options and variety, and you can practice that. Zonal, we just do it. We make sure we get it right. But the other thing, John, is how many times we cleared the ball in a game. So zonal might work 8 times in a game. The 9th time, all right, it's a mistake, or someone hasn't done a job, or whatever. If we get beat 3-0 from 3 corners and they're on their own 3 times, zonal's a problem because we're not doing that. But even then, it's players not doing their job. If a ball drops to you in the box, clear it. Don't go, well, it's not really my zone. You go and react to the ball. It's a bit basic things,
It's in-game management is so important, and players have to know what they're accountable for and responsible for. And I'm pretty sure that Bournemouth, when they did the replay, that's yours, Cenk, you could have come out.
He could have come out.
And by the way, the guy who headed it, which hit the post, he was your man anyway.
Yeah.
He was in your zone.
Yeah.
So you can't have the excuse, whatever. But the zonal thing, because teams, and look at England in the World Cup, have got really cute, haven't they, about mobility and all that. Man for man is a real issue when your man goes from there to there.
Yeah.
You know, you've people running around the box, the poor keeper going, what's going on? And it's almost like with zonal, you can allow the opposition, they can do what they want.
Yeah.
Be as mobile as you like, lads.
Because
we know what we're doing. And the one thing we know as a truism is that ball is going to come from over there.
Yeah, into the middle. Yeah.
And it's going to either be launched, it's going to be a flick on a near post, hence why you've got to be better defending the near post. You know, and Lukaku was good at it. Others have been good at it.
Barkley.
And Barkley was good at it, Ross. So if Tosin's going to be the man, then he needs to be good at it. And he needs to be switched on. And what
I've got in the... just talking up my tactics show, but someone's actually sent me a video. Craig sent me a thing he'd done to go in it, but that he'd noticed about Tosin before last night. He said, look at it, and I'd seen it, but he's highlighted it as well. So
he's a couple of yards deep.
Exactly. So you just look at it and go, okay, well, it happened in the Huddersfield, in the Rotherham game. The lads ran across, and okay, it's slightly different because the lads come from behind them to get across him for the flick. But you still got to be alive. It's no good just standing and going. You know, you've still got to be like, what's happening here? You know, and players have to take that responsibility. And Sarah, the Huddersfield at the weekend have got Mounier, the striker, who's very, very good in the air. Hasn't scored a lot of goals, but really good in the air. And I noticed last week against Cardiff, he had 2 or 3 off corners that he could have scored from, and that's something that we've got to watch out, because I think, without being disrespectful to Huddersfield, they're limited. Wagner's done a great job, and they got up and they stayed up by the skin of the teeth, which was an amazing thing for them to achieve. But they're going to come with a game plan, aren't they? And Everton have going to have to watch that, because I think man for man we're comfortably better, but
absolutely
set pieces are important, aren't they?
This is the thing, and they're going to be looking at Saturday and thinking, get the free kicks, get the corners, and you've got every chance of scoring from them, because as fans at the moment we are feeling like that. Whenever we can see the corner or a free kick, you're thinking this is a nail on goal here, and that's not a nice way to feel. But I've got to say, listening to you two talk about zonal marking, because I've not been a big fan of it at all.
Changed your mind now, haven't you?
A little bit, to be honest with you, Leo. I have a little bit, and I didn't think that was something that was going to happen. As you said, you know, the manager likes it, and it's kind of tough, and we've got to get behind it, and the players have got to buy into it and just give it time to get it right. Because if we do get it right, we're going to be okay. But at the moment, that's the flaw. We're playing all this nice football. We're scoring goals, you know, for fun at times, and we're playing fantastic. But there's always that, you know, the Bournemouth one, I think, really was the one that kind of
conceding goals is the flaw.
That's the flaw.
But that's it, and at the moment we're looking at the zonal marking as the reason for that. But if you, as you're saying, and that video which I saw, but what was the fella's name who sent the video with Tosin in? I saw it with Ped the other day, and it was
Craig.
It was fantastic little video that he did. And I've got to admit, like, I hadn't been paying attention to that, and I was thinking, okay, actually, you know what? If Cenk's doing his job there in the games, then we should win. We win that Bournemouth game.
But that's set plays, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also have open play as well.
Yeah, of course.
And we're not great off crossing.
You've got to stop the
play
cross.
because you've got to you cut the supply.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
And you see at Wolves, I think it's Pickford, who's, when that header goes in, he's up going, who's stopping it? And it's where's it come from, the source?
The ball should never have been...
Neves, who was their best player that day, was just given the freedom at the park to look up.
That's because this fella's tucking in.
Because he's tucked in, and the space, and they've overloaded, and he shouldn't have had it. He should have been the one with no space.
We know what Neves can do as well, that's
exactly.
You know.
Other things are crosses. Stop the cross. When a cross comes in, go and attack the ball. That's simple. They're basic stuff, and they'll get better. And they will, because he'll drill them. But it isn't. I just think it's dead easy to go zonal. It's zonal. It's the issue is, like John just said, conceding the goals is the issue, and that can come from a cross. It can come from a set play. But if we score a corner, would you say that Southampton's weakness the other week was set plays because we scored a free kick?
You never see it that way, do you?
No, it's not. Because you look and go that way.
We go games, weeks, months without conceding goals which we think is automatically our fault. No one will be talking about zonal.
Yeah.
If we go 5 games without conceding a goal, we say this zonal's good. Then we'll concede one. This zonal's rubbish.
Well, it's the same when we score a corner. You wouldn't all of a sudden go, we're amazing off corners, would you?
No.
You just go, that one game, that one ball in that, and we scored the header off it is great.
Yeah.
That's like perfect now, we're sorted, because we'll have the next 8 games when we won't even get a header at goal, or we won't score off it. When Andy Hinchcliffe was here, it was like, we're great off corners, but we actually look back, we'd score 1 in 50.
Yeah.
And you go, that's a good weapon. Same with now with Gylfi. It's a great weapon that he can put them balls in, and it's dangerous, and it gives us another string to our bow. But teams won't look at us and go, these are magnificent offset plays. They've got better, because they were, let's be honest, they were terrible off them last year, and they have been for a few years. So I think we just have to get past that. But I think that collectively, the way we're looking at it, we will have to mark these offset plays, because these will be looking for that, because I don't think they've got the ability to cut us open. No. Otherwise, I mean, they've played 3 games, they've scored 1 goal, conceded 9. They had a 0-0 with Cardiff at the weekend. And to be fair, I mean, I only seen match of the day, but Cardiff had a lot of attempts on goal. I think they had something like 18, 19 attempts on goal to Huddersfield 7 or 8. So it's a game we should win.
Yeah.
But it's like anything in the Premier League, it's the first goal, isn't
it? It needs discipline as well. Because, and it's easy for us to say, isn't it? But then again, we don't earn huge amounts of money and train all day, every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's not that much easier for us to say. But don't give away free kicks then.
Yeah. Be clever.
You know, almost say to yourself, you know, I'm actually more prepared. Sounds daft, this, doesn't it? I'm actually more prepared to let this guy go past me, because what you've just said with a load of stats is the chances are they ain't going to produce anything.
Yeah.
Then chop him down,
and you give him,
and he gets a free kick. They load the box. They've got some ability. They've got good.
Adam Moyes, great offset plays. He's a good footballer. Adam Moyes, a nice player in the middle of the park. He's more dangerous if you're giving him a chance to look up and go, tell you what, let's have a look, let's get it, because they've got a couple of Congolo, who's a big lad.
Yes.
They've got, if the Pottery plays, I don't know whether he's fit at the moment, he's a big lad. Mounier's good in the air, so don't give them the chance. Cut down their opportunities to hurt us, and we can hurt them at the other end. And I think,
because offensively we're looking great.
Yeah, I mean, this week will be a challenge. We don't know whether Bernard's going to make it or not at the moment. I probably think they'll leave him now till after the break. So we're looking at the left hand side and we're going, Richarlison's not in, you know, Lookman, will he still be here?
What happened to him last night?
Injury apparently.
He was waving,
that's why I asked.
He was waving to my little lad at the end when he got in his car. Zach shouted him and he gave him a little wave. Someone asked him, was he going? I seen him going on. I don't know.
Because the good man management last night was Tom Davies' captain, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A bit of pressure from some people over the weekend and stuff like that. Make him the captain, the lift that gives, and he had a very steady game.
I thought he grew into it, John. I thought he got better as it went on.
As far as Lookman's concerned, the man management there is, you go nowhere, mate. If your head's not right, we'll see you on the 1st of September.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's it, isn't it?
And you've missed an opportunity at Rotherham now.
Yeah.
You could have been on that pitch enjoying yourself. Yeah.
What's your take on him, John? Because
as a player?
As a player and what's gone on, because I think he looks like he's got tons of ability. I think for some Evertonians, they've elevated him to a level he doesn't deserve to be at, as far as I'm concerned. He's done fits and starts. For me, it was a little cameo against Liverpool, a little cameo against Well, he was very good in Limassol, to be fair. Little cameo against Watford last season. Other than that, there was nothing. He played a couple of European games, was bang average at best. The year before, City, Palace, and then he disappeared, Borough, and he disappeared till the last game of the season. So what's your take on the whole situation, just quickly?
Yeah, I don't do quickly.
no, I just mean quickly in terms of this video.
Yeah, I mean, to my mind, and I can't remember, you know, I go to all the games, so maybe they all melt into one. I can't remember how many games he started, but I can remember those moments that we remember about him are all when he's come on.
Yeah,
right? Absolutely.
So he's got pace, he's fresh, he's enthusiastic, and therefore it's easy to jump into cliches like flatters to deceive, you know?
Yeah.
You could do the agents video for Di Matteo and think he's a world-class player, couldn't you? Clearly he went off to Germany and they give him the love and all those sorts of things. I think he's unproven. I think he's, you know, if he wants to make it, per se, then we're better than in the Premier League to make your name. But there's something emotional going on there, whether it's ego or whatever it is, that says, I don't want to do the hard yards to earn the right. I want it gifted to me.
That's what it is.
You know, and having a wobbly bottom lip doesn't really work, does it? Now, clearly, the manager, and presumably Brands as well, see stuff in him, because we're going to stonewall, aren't we, Leipzig, I guess. But I think that the thing his ego is going to have to suffer from is they're not going to come for him. You know, someone that, or not at the level perhaps that Everton would say, well, oh crikey, you've offered enough money now, we'll let him go with some sell-on or whatever. I can't imagine, I'm going to look a fool, you know, in the next day or so, but I can't imagine we've said no all this time, and then we're going to fall over unless they make a really substantial offer. So from a man management point of view, I think we're in the box seat. I think what we did with Mina, played the long game, we're not going to get rushed into paying too much money, even though we paid a lot, and so on, is sort of what we're doing with Lookman. Yeah, you can have him, but it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't go, you call him in the office straight away, say, they actually didn't want you in the end, did they? When it come to it, they didn't want to put up. Yeah, they can talk in press conferences and shrug and say, oh, you know, and the president can do this. But at the end of the day, mate, you're still here because they never came anywhere near the valuation that we have on you. Yeah. That means we think more of you than they do.
Yeah.
So you're in the right place. And you just think sometimes with teams like that, that they think, well, if we can get him on the cheap, the sort of thing Real Madrid do when players are out of contract. They use the name to attract them, keep them a year, and then sell them, you know, sort of thing. So I think he needs to knuckle down, and I think he'll get game time. If he hadn't been a bit of a wally, he would be getting it now, with Richarlison being a bit daft, you know, and maybe he'll get it anyway.
Maybe.
But who knows?
Because we've got a couple of home games where, let's be honest, if he was on it, we could really use him, because Huddersfield and West Ham are both winnable, but might need that little bit of something to unlock them.
But if you look at the weekend, the European window would be closed. If he's still here and he's not in the squad, he's either was injured, or
I'm not having that.
He's still sulking.
Yeah.
But then we got 2 weeks then.
And we got 2 weeks, and then by West Ham, he knows he's here till January.
Yeah, and then he has to, you know.
You see, for me, I'd just give him till January, see what he does. If he's still sulking in January, I'd sell him by Lozano. That's what I would do. Simple player. Lozano's got
something outside.
Lookman's just turned up in 3 cups, not happy.
Kicking the door on the way.
Yeah, kicking the door. Back to Saturday then, Sarah. Obviously, Huddersfield will, you know, they're going to come and be resolute, and they're going to come and try and dig in, and, you know, I'm sure David Wagner will be thinking, well, we get set pieces and stuff. Is it about being patient for Everton, or do you want to just see us flat out from the first whistle and going after them?
I kind of want to see us go after them, to be honest with you, because I think, you know, the first goal here dictates the way it's going to go. I think even if they were to score the first goal, I think we'd still go on to win, but it'd be a much trickier game. I think if we go out there and get a goal in the first 10-15 minutes, we could just take the mickey out of them a little bit, and I think that's what we need to do, because we've been knocking on the door in the last 2 away games as well to put in a real strong performance, even against Southampton. You know, when we're 2-0 up at half time, and I'm thinking, let's really do this, let's get a 3-4-0 here and get people taking us seriously. Okay, Everton are a really strong side, and that's what this is, a perfect opportunity for me against Huddersfield, to go out the traps, flying at them, try and get an early goal and build on that, because we score first. And I think they realise how hard it's going to be.
As well, then,
exactly, and if they come at us, we could just cut them to shreds. And I want to see that happen.
Oh, most definitely. Who would you play on the left, John? Obviously, we've got, you know, Lookman's had. We're not sure about Lookman's level of fitness, and we don't know whether he's still going to be here at the time of recording. Richarlison's obviously out. Who would you play on the left? Because for me, there's no at this moment with Bernard being out as well. There's no natural one to just go in that allows us to continue the way we've been playing. So, do you think he might do what he did against Rotherham, go 4-4-2, or do you think?
I would suspect so.
Do you think?
Yeah.
See, the only thing I thought about was maybe playing Dean ahead of Baines. So I have Baines at left back and Lucas Dean on the left, almost as a left-sided midfield player. I don't know whether he can do that. I don't know whether it's natural to him. Otherwise, it's shoehorning, isn't it? Yeah. It's putting Gylfi back out there. Does he really?
Wasting it, that.
Because I think Snyderland will come back in.
Yeah.
And then Morgan comes back in. Kieran Dowell, maybe. Did he do enough? He played okay against Rotherham, but is he enough to Dominic Calvert-Lewin? It's going to be an interesting
with Kieran or DCL. You play DCL, don't you?
Yeah.
Kieran's just
needs
to be on the ball, you know, and centre really.
Yeah.
So,
be interesting.
Could be 2.
Well, that's that to me is the key thing. It's going to be a key thing, because obviously last week we'd have been going Bernard, Richarlison, Lookman's there. But Balassi threw a lesser, but you're looking and going, 4 players who can play on that left. Now we're going, yeah,
well, let's see if Sandro's still here.
Well, that's it. Well, exactly. What did you think? Just very quickly.
I thought he was very tidy last night.
Yeah.
Didn't do himself any harm at all.
No. Great balls into some tremendous delivery.
We know he's technically good.
Yeah.
And he's a good outman as well for that. Yeah. So
could he play him on the right and Walcott on the left?
He could do. And he swapped over yesterday. Sandro spent some time on the left yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think he would come into the consideration.
I do. Yeah.
If he's still here.
Be interesting.
So who knows whether Paul Joyce was right or not?
Well, we'll see, won't we? But I mean, he played last night, and to be fair to the kid, he could have walked around and gone, I've got to move here.
Yeah.
I'm not putting myself into any tackles on. He didn't. He put the full shift until he went off. Thought he'd done really well. What are your predictions then? It's going to be a tight game, or it could be a tight game, but do you feel confident?
Well, I think personally, and despite Bournemouth has had a good start, I said to my missus that a 2-goal victory is par. And I think that's what it is this weekend as well.
Okay.
If you were to say we're going to concede, well, we win 3-1 then.
Yeah.
If we're not going to concede at least 2, it'd be nice to have a clean sheet.
It would, wouldn't it?
But I think par would be a 2-goal victory.
A 2-goal victory.
But I'm with Sarah really. If we get an early goal and the crowd gets up, as it typically will, then we could have a bit of a field day.
Yeah.
And that's where Lookman's going to feel a right wally.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's not in the squad simply because he's been a bit petulant, because him coming on perhaps in the second half when we're leading by a couple of goals and the game's a bit stretched, then he can have his cameos like he did against City and the like and enjoy himself, or indeed Liverpool when it's a bit more open.
And
so at least 2 goals.
West Ham, maybe,
of course,
at
least a couple of goal victory, I think.
Okay, superb. Sarah?
Yes, I'm with John. I think I'd really love us to keep a clean sheet. I think it's important. We just need to get that first one, don't we, and build on that. But I think it'll either be a 3-1, a 2-0, or if we can score dead early, maybe even a 3-4-0. I would love to see that. I think that's laying the marker down for things to come. I know it's Huddersfield.
And then they go into a break then.
Yeah, that's it. But
that to me, you've just got to win the game.
Yeah.
Going into the international break, if we're sat on 8 points at the weekend from 4 games, I think it's a really.
We can do all the what ifs, but we've won the 2 home games. We've drawn the 2. Wolves the first day is always going to be a bit cheery because
City only drew with them at the weekend, so you can look at it like that, rightly or wrongly, that result. Same with ours, same with Bournemouth. But if we're sat here with 8 points at the weekend, I think we've had a great start. Next round of the Carabao Cup.
Good start.
Well, good start. Great would be obviously 100% record, but a good start, good solid start for him. And listen, I quite like Huddersfield, and Matt, one of my mates, I love him, and he's a big Huddersfield
I like Wagner
fan
as well.
I liked him till I realised he was like Klopp's love child.
We'll win our next away game as well.
Do you know what? This is what I think. I think these things kind of level themselves.
Martin Richarlison, that's it. Back from his ban.
This is it. I would happily go to Arsenal and them like players off the pitch, and they should have had 3 penalties or something, and then Richarlison just pops up at the end and scores a snidey goal. Because then I snores. I don't want to see
snoring.
Don't bring your social habits.
No, or snoring or whatever. Doing a pigeon would be nice.
That celebration though. Oh my god. Do you remember that celebration though?
It feels like years ago now, because I want to see him fuming he got sent off. But anyway, let's hope that the guys are right and we can get our 3 points. I think we'll win. I think it'll be the first goals key. If we score within the first 20-25 minutes, I think Everton can do them some real damage, because I think Walcott is key. If we had the Richarlison, I'd be saying 4 or 5. I would, because of the pace. But I think Walcott's key at the weekend with his running, and I think I'd love Cenk Tosun to score, to be honest.
He'll get off the mark.
I hope so. He scored against these down. Huddersfield didn't he earlier than back end of last season. So it'd be nice for him to get off the mark, because I think he's been excellent in the first 3 games. All that's missing's been a goal, and he hasn't been excellent defending corners, as we pointed out before. But that's not really a thing I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on him going the other way. But no, I think that'd be a big thing for me.
He's been particularly good in the away games.
Yeah.
Listen,
if you watched it on the telly, you won't have seen the runs he's been making.
Oh, brilliant runs.
Where they're obvious balls from the number 10 and he hasn't been getting them. So he'll score a couple of goals in a game probably, because he's a good finisher, isn't he?
He's a great finisher. So there you go. We are very confident, without being disrespectful to Huddersfield, but it's a game that we've got to look at. If we're going to really try and kick on, these are the games you have to win, and you know, we've got to get Bournemouth out of our system now, and I think you two are right as well. A clean sheet will go a long way to just calming everyone down going into that international.
Forget about Zonal then.
I'm forgetting about Zonal for at least a fortnight, and then see whether England use it in the breaks or whatever. But there you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Are you confident? Are you a bit edgy, or do you just think it'll be a routine victory for Everton? Do we do that in the Premier League? I don't know. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It only takes a second. If you want more videos, join us on Patreon. Big thanks to the guys for coming, and see you soon on Toffee TV.